guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Adriana. If you guys are new here, please like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you guys can see every time I post a new video. Also, I literally got like all this water on my shirt and I don't know where it came from, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're basically posting a video, and this one's not really a life update, so I want you guys to understand, and I also hope that as many people as I'm hoping will watch it, because it will honestly, like, it'll make more sense, at least from my perspective it will. So obviously if you guys don't think so, let me know. After I'm doing my makeup, I'm gonna do my makeup very, very light, and then I'm just gonna do my skincare. So it's gonna be a longer video, and also you're wondering, well, probably why are you wasting your makeup? I'm wasting it, not technically, but I'm wasting it because I want to be able to see how the road works out in a full, not even a full face, but so I can see if I want to wear it Monday to school. So that's why. Alright, so basically I got a comment on one of my posts, and once I just want to make it clear, if you're watching, which I did make a comment replying back to say that I was posting a video like this, but it's nothing like anything towards you. I actually need to make a video about it anyways, and I just never did, and I kind of just pushed it aside until I couldn't push it aside anymore. This shirt that I literally cut to have it off the shoulder, and it doesn't even work. I finally found a shirt that I was like wanting to wear that was loose but like sleeveless, everything like that. So basically today's topic is gonna be something that I feel like I haven't really talked about. So for the most part, I keep my life pretty private. Obviously I do social media, so how private can you really be? Not much, but I do personally keep my life super duper private, with little to no like thing that you could possibly really truly know about me. So once we get off the topic of this, I am going to end up switching over to basically just how school's going, because I did promise I'd make a video of that. But what my main video point is going to be is what we're going to make up and be this, and then whenever I do my skincare, it's going to be school. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so basically when I was 7, when I was 7, and right now I'm 13, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 6 years. Okay, so, and actually kind of find out it was before 7. Me and my mom only remember it starting at 7. Apparently it was before 7, because they said I've been having this for 8 years now, so I'm a little behind, but according to the doctors, 8 years. So anyways though, basically when I was in like 1st grade, I started having these terrible leg pains, like excruciating, where I would actually punch my legs and like punch them until I had bruises on them. Now I don't necessarily remember having bruises on my legs. My mom was telling me about that, like how I had bruises on my legs, but I like apparently just kept on hitting myself, and I know I kept on hitting myself. I know that deep down because I remember doing that. I remember just hitting myself so hard and so much, and just because I wanted the pain to stop. Basically, I started getting this like terrible, like I don't even know how to explain it, because the pain was so bad that it's almost like undescribable, which is absolutely wild to me that a pain can be so bad. But basically that's what that was. This pain basically, also this is just marker and it's uneven. It's just like the heartbeat one, so if you're wondering what that is. Anyways though, so basically I was having such terrible pain, and honestly it got very, very bad, and actually it got so bad where my mom had to keep on taking me to the hospital actually, and telling them like, hey, like she's punching her legs, her, you know, like she's getting bruises on herself, and like I can't get her to stop. My mom would literally sit there, and I remember laying down in my bed like crying because the pain wouldn't go away. And obviously I was so young. I mean, I technically would have been 6. Also, if you're hearing creaking, that's the chair. The chair is so broke, it's not even funny. Anyway, so I would have been like 6 at that age, almost 7. So being that young and experiencing such a pain that you couldn't understand, you couldn't describe, you couldn't really even be able to explain to anybody why you had it while going to school. I mean, going to school obviously is not fun, but it definitely wasn't fun when you had every kid at the school in your grade making fun of you because they thought you were a diseased kid. That's just definitely not fun. For absolutely nobody. It doesn't matter who it is, whether you actually have something serious going on, whether you don't have something serious going on and people are just making rumors about you. Whatever the heck it may be, it's not fun. And once again, for a first grader to be bullied like that was just terrible. I mean, terrible. It got to the point where, like, I just didn't want to go to school because I absolutely love school. School was, like, my favorite thing. But then it got to the point where I didn't want to go because people would call me a diseased kid. They would call me, oh, you know, she has a disease, or oh, something's wrong with her, or oh, she's ugly, or oh, she gained more weight. Like, literally, I used to get bullied because I was weighed more, which nobody actually knew my actual weight, because I looked like I weighed more than the other kids at the school. In first grade. First grade. Keep that in mind. Like, first grade, ridiculous. Like, come on now. But that was that. And actually, I'll never forget this, which I think that really just stayed in my mind, considering that I'm now in 8th grade. So 7 grades later, I remember being in church, actually. And it was my school's church, and literally, I sat there, and I remember a kid walking up to me. Actually, it was like a whole group of them, and they all walked up to me, and they're like, is that your mom? And like, my mom is so thin. Y'all will see her in my videos sometimes, and you guys will see that she is like thin, beautiful, but thin, and then like, that was just that. So think about, like, back then, 7 years ago. So just think about it. Like, she was obviously, like, really pretty, like, still. She still is, but, like, still. And she also was very, very thin. And I was never as thin as her, except for, like, when I was, like, 4 and 3 and, like, stuff like that. Anyways, though, a whole group of kids basically walked up to me and was like, is that your mom? And I was like, yeah, that's my mom. And they're like, well, you don't look like her because you're bigger than her. And they questioned if I was adopted because I was bigger than my mom. That, I feel like, definitely had a lasting impact on me for a little while, because after that, I really didn't want to go to school. Also, if you're wondering why I'm out of breath, I had COVID 2 weeks ago, and I still am, like, so stuffed up, and still, like, every 5 seconds because I'm so stuffed up. Anyways, though, so that definitely obviously hurt. And already being bullied, that just, like, added on top. And I remember, like, telling mom, like, well, why are you so skinny? Like, just, like, become fatter or something. Like, not necessarily fat, but, like, I feel like there's no definition for fat, honestly, in my opinion. Like, someone can't be fat because, like, I don't know. But, like, just, like, gain weight. Like, put some chunkiness on you. Like, something. And so, at the same time, though, I obviously didn't want her to become, like, fat or, like, in, like, any, like, dangerous state of weight, but, like, at the same time, I was just, like, can you just gain some type of weight, like, please, so, like, people can stop telling me that, like, you're not my mom, like, something, please. No? Okay. Like, honestly, though, she can eat, like, 50 different things, and she will still not gain weight. And actually, it's the same thing for my cousin. My cousin is super, super thin. I mean, you can see his bones, but he will literally eat everybody's meal and still won't gain a single ounce. Love to know how you do that, but anyways, though, so obviously that was very difficult for me, and that year is when all my medical issues started happening. So basically that year I was going to doctors left and right at least like 3 a week, honestly. Like, it got so bad. It literally felt like I was in a doctor's office every single day, even though I wasn't. But it was going so often that I was missing so much school. I missed basically most of that year, but either way, though, it was doctors. It was more important, honestly, to make sure that I was okay. But once again, pain, horrendous. I mean, there would be days when I would just, like, lay there in my bed, like, screaming, crying, hitting my legs. And my mom would always ask me, and she even asked me, like, why were you hitting your legs? Like, what was the whole idea of that? Okay, I'm getting a headache from this. And I basically, like, told her, like, it didn't help in any way, but I feel like I was kind of telling myself it would. But, yeah. Hold on, I'm literally, like, choking myself right now because this does not really fit. And it's meant for, like, younger kids, but okay, let's see if this works. My head. we'll get into that later in another video about my whole head thing. But anyways, though, so she'd be like, why were you like hitting yourself or whatever? And I would just be like, I honestly don't know. And honestly, I still do it nowadays. Like, I still do it to this day. And I will tell you guys right now, it does not work. It doesn't. It will not take away the pain, and I can promise you that. If anything, it'll make it worse because they don't have bruises on your legs. If anything, that's exactly what will end up happening. So technically, it didn't do anything or any good for me necessarily. It actually just made it worse because you have your pain that you don't know what it is, where it's coming from, why it's happening, on top of having bruises all over your legs. So just put that in your own head. It doesn't feel better, but I don't know, it apparently, according to a doctor, it basically is a common thing for people to have such bad pain that they just hit it. And they don't know why. And they actually say it's more of like a coping mechanism to be able to help with the pain, even though it doesn't help. And so basically, I've been told it doesn't help. Everybody knows it doesn't help. But it's what I've done since I was little, and it just kind of stuck with it. And it doesn't help. I mean, I can say that 50 billion times, and I can promise you so much money. It does not help. But it's what I did, and what, unfortunately, I still do to this day. Which I still don't understand why I do it, because it doesn't help. And it, unfortunately, will never will. So, I don't even know why I'm doing it. But back to what I was saying. Also, I'm going to put the Statue lip liner on so it can be stained, because I do want this on either way, because tomorrow is pickleball, and it makes me look like I have makeup on, even though I technically don't. So anyways, though, I'm going to put this on. I'll be right back. I just got it on, and it will be drying. So anyways, though, yeah. So basically that year I was in doctors all the time and missed a lot of school, and that was just that. I just passed, though, so I mean, technically it didn't really do much because I passed. So anyways, though, doctors, more doctors, and 10 times more doctors. So I do want to give a shout out to this. I would also like to mention, this is in Florida, so like, I don't know if there's any more outside of Florida. I honestly don't know. But thank you so much, Joe DiMaggio. I will say, y'all, unfortunately, have not figured out what's going on yet, and later in the video, you guys will understand what I'm saying. But Joe DiMaggio, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. So anyways, though, besides that, so the doctors that I ended up going to, because my mom happened to know a family member, they basically like a very, very close friend that was basically family at the time, who her daughter basically passed because she had bone marrow cancer. And I had the exact, apparently, at least to an extent, symptoms as her daughter who had just passed. And they basically went to go to Joe DiMaggio, and that's where they found out. So my mom ended up taking me there, hoping obviously that I did not have like any type of cancer at all, or honestly anything wrong. It was maybe just growing pains. Had not even been alive for the first like year. That's what I was told, was it was growing pains, it'll stop in a couple of months. And I wasn't told that by Joe DiMaggio. I was basically told that by like a bunch of other doctors that weren't Joe DiMaggio. So, but that it was basically just growing pains, and I'm growing, and it will all be better soon. So actually, I would like to mention, growing pains unfortunately was like a little bit of it. Barely any though, because the pain was so bad because of whatever I was going through, that the growing pains kind of just got pushed out of the way of that type of pain. So anyways, though, they basically kept on telling me it was growing pains because they knew that I was growing like a weed. Right now, at the age of 13, gonna be 14 in a month, I'm 5'8", which apparently is not common. For me personally, it's common. Like, I find it weird, like, why are you short? Like, and actually, my entire family, well, my mom's pretty tall, and my cousin that's like really, really thin, he is ridiculously tall. So we have a lot of tall family like members, but for me to be as tall as I am at my age, we didn't expect that because my grandma's short. My mom's like a decent height. My mom's like 5'7", so, or maybe I think she's a 5'8" too. So I'm about to pass her, and actually according to my doctor right now, I will be going into 6 foot in sometime next year. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. But anyways, though. So, basically, I was growing out like a fast rate. So, everybody's like, oh, it's just growing pains. Oh, it's just growing pains. It'll be over. You know, obviously, like, growing pains don't feel good. Like, it's fine. Well, Joe DiMaggio actually begged to differ and said, you know what, no, we're going into tests. We're going into, like, a billion different things. Unfortunately, obviously, like, when you're so young, you don't want all these tests. And even now, I don't want any of these tests. But we went through a lot of blood work. Way too much blood work. I actually had 36 vials drew from me at one time. Terrible because I don't like blood work done. So, there's that. But terrible because I almost passed out, too. So, anyways, though. Yeah, and all of them basically came out fine, which, once again, you obviously wouldn't expect when you have someone telling you that you're in so much pain and that, or you telling them, not someone telling you, but like from a doctor's perspective, when you have somebody telling you, like, I'm in so much pain, this is terrible, I'm hitting my legs, like, help me, basically, like, why does it hurt so bad? And you get these test results, and the test results come back to, there's nothing wrong, but there is something wrong, but there isn't. So after looking over, and I actually got like a bunch of MRIs, CAT scans, all these different type of things, ridiculous amount of stuff. Basically, like, that from the looking of it, my bones think that I'm 7 years ahead. By the way, didn't know it was a thing, so if you guys didn't know, now you do. Basically, my bones are growing 7 years ahead than my actual, like, body and my skin, in a way. So my bones, the reason why I'm 5'8" is because they think I'm, like, actually, like, at the time, like, 17, you know, that type of thing, but I'm not. I was only 10. So it's just, like, it's like that. Now, is that still how it is, or did it finally stop and it's kind of, you know, like, okay, well, let's wait up a little bit? We don't know because we actually haven't had that, like, MRI and everything like that and done since I was basically 7. So we don't know what we're looking at now, but basically they take a picture of your pinky, and apparently they can be able to tell. Thank you so much, doctors, because, like, that's absolutely wild in my opinion. Like, I have no clue how you guys are able to do that, but low-key impressive. Anyways, though, so there's that right there. But that wasn't really the big deal. It was like, okay, you know, shocking. Honestly, the doctors were kind of jaw drops. Like, where's my thing? I need to be in, like, the Guinness World Record or something like that. Anyways, though, so they were obviously, like, really shocked, and yeah, that was basically that, like, so, once again, big deal to an extent of, like, how, why, this is crazy, we've never seen this, like, we've seen it sometimes, but, like, not, and it's like, well, anyways, though, once again, it is what it is, it was what it was. Now, 7, 8 years later, not as crazy. Still, obviously, a little bit shocking, like, but not as crazy. Not as big of a deal. It's like, okay, well, now we have more important things to look at. Alright, now we're going on with the road. I'm so pumped to be able to try this. Well, actually, I kind of already did, but not really. Okay, so I don't want to add on a lock, because I wouldn't put on a line general, so I'm just going to do. Okay, I think that's good, and then I'm just going to blend it out with a beauty blender, because I am a not brush user that much. So anyways, though, so once again, they were low-key shocked, but at the same time, they weren't as shocked as you think that they would be. But my mom was definitely shocked. I will give them that. Anyways, though, okay, wait, that is so gorgeous. Okay, so I already have, like, a bunch of pigment on my cheeks. I have, like, the rosacea, but this just doesn't add, like, that type of pink. It does, like, more of, like, a contourish blush. Now, I will say, I will definitely not wear it as a blush like this, because I do personally think it does not look right on me. I do not like it on me like that, but I do want to try some on my nose and on my lips, because that was the whole point of me buying it. So, let's see on my nose how that looks. Oh my gosh. Wait, that actually looks, like, so cute. Once again, I wouldn't add as much, but looks so cute. Gives me, like, the sunburn type, and this is in shade Tan Line. That's probably why. Anyways, though, so they did obviously shock my mom. They did obviously shock me. They shocked my grandma, my grandfather. My entire family was like, what? You sure? You know what you're talking about, Doc? Like, But obviously, they do. They're the doctors. So then after that, still continue with the pain. Pain never ended. They actually gave me like this cream that you would like rub on your leg and somehow it would help. Not even gonna lie, for about like 5, maybe 6 years, it actually helped. Like, oh my gosh, that thing was a holy miracle. I was like, oh my god, like my legs don't hurt anymore. This is great. Like, I'm in heaven right now. Like, the pain is gone to an extent. Once again, that considering the pain was so bad, when it was very light bad, it felt fantastic. It was like, oh my gosh, like I haven't felt this less of pain in so long that it honestly just felt great to not really have it. Unfortunately, every good thing comes to an end. That came to an end and my pain still continued. And the cream that they gave me, the ointment, whatever you want to call it, stopped working. So now, as of now, I have a pain management doctor, who we've been going to for so long. Once again, thank you guys so much, Joe DiMaggio. Thank you. They still do not know the right answer, unfortunately. They still do not know what's going on. There's a supposedly mass found in my leg, but when we went and got another MRI done, they could not find it. So we do have to go back to that doctor and basically go over, because he said in like a couple years to come back once we had all the doctors that he had told us to go to done, and we finally do. So we're gonna make an appointment with him. I'll take this off. But I've been going to my pain management doctor, and I just got blood work done not too long ago. So this will be the appointment to see my blood work results, because I actually got told that I want my blood work done, not like the one that I just took, but one a little while ago, that from the looks of it, it looked like my liver was failing. Because of how, I guess, one of them came back. So my blood work that I just took was to see how my liver was doing. As of now, though, we see that my liver seems fine, that it was maybe just like that one day that they happened to take it. It just was like a little wonk, but according to them, my liver seems fine, and this blood work will like prove them that it's fine. And in January of last year, I actually ended up in the hospital of Joe DiMaggio for an entire week, because basically last year and basically from 2023-ish, actually probably like 2022 to 2024, my legs would give out of me so much and my bones would just snap on my legs. I had every cast color in my leg, between my leg and my arm. I had every cast color that they possibly had, and I had some of them twice. This was obviously before I started social media, so none of y'all even like saw that. But that was that. And last year in 2024, I actually ended up having where my leg gave out of me and I couldn't walk. Like, could not walk. I would try to stand and I would just fall to the ground because I couldn't put anything on any of my legs, not because of pain. I just couldn't walk. And I ended up going to Joe DiMaggio Hospital. I'm really trying to wait this all off. I ended up going to Joe DiMaggio Hospital only for them to basically tell me that I had to be there for a week. So I was there for a week with a ridiculous amount of blood work drawn to see what was going on, how we could fix it. And in that week, I actually got told that there was a chance I could be paralyzed and I could possibly never walk again. All right, moving on, I'm going to do my road. This is in the shade I don't know, it's not saying. I think this one's Toast, in the shade Toast. So anyways, though, I basically got told that there's a good chance that I will be paralyzed and never be able to walk again. Once again, for a 12-year-old to hear that is not great at all. Honestly, for anybody at any age to hear that, but especially a 12-year-old who was decently active. Obviously, I wasn't like doing everything at that time, honestly, because I was breaking bones left and right, but who basically like was at some point in her life doing soccer, doing all these different things, going outside, playing football, doing so much stuff, into going into being told that I could possibly go paralyzed, it makes you really sit there and look at it and go, like, you never wish that you could walk so bad. Like, you wake up every morning and you sit there and you're just like, all right, like, let's go, big deal. But then when you finally wake up one morning and you can't walk, you can't put any weight on your legs, you get told, like, you could possibly go paralyzed, and that's what you gotta look at, basically. It's a whole different thing. It really is. And so for an entire week, I was looking at being paralyzed. For some miracle, and I honestly don't even know how, and I don't know why, and anything of that sort. In the last 2 days of that week, so about a Saturday and a Sunday, I started walking, and I don't even know how, because I was, no joke, falling down to the ground. Couldn't even put my feet on the ground without falling. I stood up one day, and I didn't even really try to. The ladies basically sat there, and Georgia Marsha is such a great hospital. It was so great, and they basically told me that, like, we're gonna work on your standing, we're gonna get you back to walking, we're gonna figure it out. So basically for that entire 2 days, I kept on trying to stand. I was being held up by people, by my mom, my grandma, the 2 workers there, because I could not stand, and I moved my toe when I would go down. It was absolutely terrible. And the last 2 days, though, I kept getting stronger and could be able to move more, and it was just, like, so weird, because it went from me falling, me not being able to stand, me being completely down, to all of a sudden I can walk. And basically on that Sunday going into Monday, I was walking again. Not as sturdy. It definitely took me a while. I was still not as strong, but I could literally walk. Like, I don't even know how, but I ended up walking. And I got to go into that hospital, not being able to walk, being told I could possibly be going paralyzed, to walking out of that hospital. And I don't ever say it necessarily, but I literally wake up in the morning and I just sit there and go, I can walk today, and I'm not paralyzed, and I haven't, like, had that, thought before any of that of, like, oh, today I might not be able to walk, but now, like, whenever I wake up, it's just, like, I can actually be able to stand, I can be able to walk, I can be able to move, and it's a whole different thing, completely different. But I don't ever obviously, like, say that out loud or say that in general, but it's something that I think about, because it's crazy. It honestly is crazy to me. So anyways, though, after that, I haven't broken a bone since, which is so weird, because it was almost like I needed to have that happen to me so I don't break a bone, which was so weird, because I haven't broken a bone, I haven't fractured, I haven't sprained, thank God, since then, which is so weird, and once again, they didn't expect. I actually do ask my doctor whenever I see them, I'm like, why did that happen? Why, like, what went from me being paralyzed, possibly not being able to walk, to all of a sudden me walking, to what made that even happen? Because I've broke so many bones, and that's never happened. And every time I get the, I don't know, we don't know, we've never seen something like that. So, the reason why I decided to talk about this whole story and stuff like that was because I did get a comment asking me, because they wanted to find the same shirt or an oversized shirt, which thank you guys so much for commenting. And just like I put, if I get more questions, I do want to be able to do a Q&A. Soon I will be probably starting to write them down. It honestly all depends. But basically, I decided to make this whole post because the girl had asked me how much I weigh, how much my height is, or guy, I don't know. I'm very sorry. I've had a lot of questions lately, but, basically, yeah, I'm assuming girl, just because the oversized shirt is whatever the heck you are, or who you are, or what you are. I am not the weight that I necessarily want to be. My doctors want me to lose weight. I am under 3 and over 100, so you do your own math, and whatever conclusion you guys come to, you come to. Not necessarily over like 100, in between something like that, but just in 100 pounds in general. So from 100 to 300, I'm in that range. So I do want to lose weight, and it's weird because I've tried so much. I actually do pickleball on Saturdays and Sundays. We went to the gym for the longest time. We're still trying to go to the gym, but with school starting and everything like that. And we were doing Pilates. We were doing what's it called? Full body workout plus abs, full body workout, a whole 9 yards. Going on walks every night with my dog. And yeah, basically a lot of different stuff. And I actually went on to Kim Kardashian, or the Kardashian brand, I don't know who made them, but the Kardashian brands basically that do the gummies. And I took them, and I actually went off of them because did they help? Not really. They didn't give me the effect that they were supposed to. If anything, though, I went off them because it was better for myself. Obviously, I would love to lose weight, but it got to the point where if I ate something, I would feel like I was going to get sick. If I drank something, I was going to get sick. I could drink water, and I felt like I was just going to lose it all every single time. I wanted to eat something, but then I would get sick, or if I even thought of food, I would honestly feel sick to my stomach. So, also, this is my dog that you're seeing. So I decided that it'd be best for me to go off of them because I don't think it was working. So basically, I do have a doctor's appointment in let's see, I haven't marked my calendar. Crap. Let's see. So in about a week, I have a doctor's appointment. So next Monday actually, yeah. So next Monday, I do have a doctor's appointment. And basically with my blood work that I just took, we're gonna see, because he had like a bunch of different stuff, so I don't know what most of it is, but the main thing we're looking at is thyroid. Basically I was told that my thyroid might be underactive, and that would be the reason why I cannot lose weight like I should. So when basically the thyroid, whenever it becomes underactive, it just basically doesn't help your metabolism process food and lose weight like you should. And sometimes you can have an overactive one, where, take example of my cousin, he's very, very thin and can't even gain weight even if he tried. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. And my whole thing on it is, the reason why I didn't really want to talk about it, but I decided to in the end, was because I obviously do and will talk about my doctor's appointment once it's done, and just, you know, give you guys the whole thing to what I want to share. But also because if anybody else is experiencing this or like anything like that, just know you're not alone. My legs still hurt to this day. And actually, when I was little, I thought that'd be the worst pain I would feel, and like, that's the worst it would get. And I remember telling my gosh, like, it's terrible. It's gotten worse. It hasn't gotten better, and unfortunately, it's came back 10 times stronger. It went away for like a month, which is like the best month ever. But it did unfortunately end up coming back, and is once again one of the worst pains ever, especially when you don't actually have any medicine, any cream, anything to help release the pain. Which I don't recommend medicine on anything. Obviously, you do you, whatever works. But there's, as of right now, for me personally, there's no cure. So looking at it now, it's like I'm in so much pain and there's nothing that will fix it. So as of right now, I have an uncurable thing. So the whole thyroid thing will basically just help with my weight. If I do have an underactive thyroid or anything that has to do with my thyroid, that might lead to something else, which something else might lead to something else, and then lead to my legs eventually. So that's what basically we're looking at. Yeah. So I also did to go to the doctors for my back. We got to figure out what we're going to do about that, because possible pinched nerve, possible some type of damage, because my hand's been going numb, my arm's been going numb ever since we got in a car accident last year. And I had 8 vertebrae, like things like pop out of where they weren't supposed to be, so we have to get that checked out. But so much pain right now. So I'm hoping that on next Monday, my doctor has some answers. Whether they're good, whether they're bad, whether they're in between. I don't want answers because I don't want answers because I don't want to know that there's something wrong that can't be fixed. And I don't want to know if it's really, really bad. At the same time, obviously, you want to know if something's bad so you can be able to fix it. But it's something that you want to know, and you wait every day, and you wait every doctor's appointment, and you go into a doctor's appointment, say they're going, they're going to have the answer, they're going to figure it out, and they're going to know what it is, and you go in leaving with more clueless than you were when you walked in, and you get to the point where it's like, do I even want to know? Because do I want to know how bad it is? And honestly, my honest answer to that is no. Because I don't know how I honestly would want to react to that, because you wait, you want to know, and then it ends up something bad. Obviously, it's not good. But we will hopefully be seeing, and hopefully all will go well. And I hope that, honestly, it really does work out in the end, and I hope they find an answer, and I hope, if anything, my biggest hope is, and I want to make this so clear, if anything, my biggest hope is that they figure out what this is, whether it's something that has never been experienced to somebody, whether nobody else has ever felt this pain, or somebody who is my age, or somebody who had it young, feels the exact same way, or has the same thing. If anything, I hope that they can go figure out what I have, so that they can go help other kids younger than possibly when I started having it, younger than what I am right now, or any age at this fact. I hope that it will help them not have to go through so many tests, because I went through so many tests, so many different things, and we're still going through tests. Honestly, I feel like a lab rat. So I hope out of anything that if they do find the answer, they won't have to test whoever else has something like this as much as they had to do for me. I hope that they can do a one and done, or maybe they'll end up having you test that's just like, we'll test you for this, if you come out positive, you have this, there's a cure, or maybe there's not. I just hope they don't have to go through what I went through to try to even get a half of an answer. So with that being said, as of today, I have chronic pain mixed with fibromyalgia and possible POTS. None of those are verified. They're actually just an assumption, or at least an idea to give us, so it's easier to explain why I have that pain. But once again, that was just their guesses, and they've kind of all been crossed out the door except for chronic pain. We know we have chronic pain. That's about it. But with that being said, you guys, that is it. Sorry the video turned out so long, and I'm not even gonna make a part 2. So yeah, I will end up making a video though after this to take off my makeup. It won't be about that, but that's on that. That being said, you guys, that is it, and I hope this gives you guys more answers, and I hope my next video, obviously not the next one, but like next week, will hopefully have the answers to figure out what this is. That being said, you guys, that is it, and I hope you guys have a lovely night. Bye.